Hello and welcome back to another episode of Bedtime Stories. My name is Tracy and I am your host. Tonight we are reading chapter 17 and possibly 18 of I, the Wizard by Daniel McKnight. Dan McKnight is the director of my short form improv comedy troupe. That is the Scruffy City Improv Comedy Company. And we are playing at IAMS Nature Center August 26th, 2026. 7 p.m. is when the show starts. Tickets are on sale now at vanityvanityimprov.com, I believe it is. And also we will be performing in the Secret City Improv Comedy Festival coming up October 8th, 9th, and 10th at the Historic Grove Theater in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. We would love to have you come out and see us play. We like to play games. We're just goofing off. Goofing off is good for the soul. So come on out and goof off with us. Tickets are on sale now at the website that you can find by Googling. Or you can contact me on Facebook or holler at me in the comments. I'll figure something out and we'll get the link to you. I'll get the link to you because this is a one-woman show. Anyway. So, since I got those announcements out of the way, I need to ask you the series of very serious queries. Have you gone pee in the potty yet? Good job. Did you brush your teeth? Good job. Have you got your water next to the bed? Good job. You did your stretches? Oh my gosh. Wow. Good job. Okay, well, since there's nothing else left to do besides like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click that notification bell. Ding! Yeah, I know, I'm a dork. We'll go ahead and get started. Okay, cool beans. All right, chapter 17. I walked over to Hannon's feeling terrible. A boy's first love is hard enough, but I'd embarrassed him in front of his father, too. I needed a drink. Maybe two. Maybe more. Dagnabbit. It took so long to record a good intro that the Kindle was like, I give up on you. All right. The inn was just starting to fill up, and I noticed Father Alders sitting at the game table with Skeet. After getting a flagon of wine and a goblet, I made my way to the gaming table and sat down next to the priest. Woo. Skeet became noticeably tense. You two are here a little early today, I said. Bo, Father Alder asked, how is your investigation going? Nothing in life goes as easily or as quickly as you want it to, I replied. Oh, that's a factual statement right there. Are you drinking wine or ale? Wine. After filling my cup, I topped off his. I want to thank you for alerting me about Bayard, he said. I was able to gather a few volunteers, and we got out to him. We cleaned him up, and his place too. It took a bit, but we finally got some food into him. Hopefully he'll come around. I have some people to stay with him for a while. He seemed like a good enough guy. The death of his wife hit him pretty hard, I guess. Changing the subject, I waved my hand over the table. Having any luck? Father Alder laughed a little and said, no, Skeet's too good for me. With that, Skeet sat upright with it in his chair. I wouldn't say... And then he coughed. Calm down, Skeet, Father Alder said. We're all friends here tonight. It was then that Langhorn, the boy who was upset I was in the church talking to the priest, and two of his friends came in. They paused a moment at the door and looked around. When they spotted me, they gathered close, nodded, and then walked back out. Looks like I'm all kinds of popular, I said to the priest. Well, it's for the best, the priest replied. I doubt that anything good would have come from him being in here with you. I reached into my money purse and threw some coins on the table. Deal me in, Skeet, I said. I sat at the table for a couple of hours. The priest, as it turns out, was a pretty good drinking partner. He didn't once try to convert me, and was full of worthy stories. Skeet behaved himself too. I let him take me for a couple of copper coins before I finally got up. It was a good thing that the priest was there. I don't think I could have walked out after drinking 3 flagons by myself. Even sharing them, I was a little unsteady walking toward my horse. It had gotten dark outside, and I really wasn't paying too much attention to my surroundings. Uh-oh. I had made it about halfway to my horse when I heard a noise behind me. I started to turn around, but the lights went out. And that's the end of chapter 17. So yeah, we're going to read chapter 18. That was a really short chapter, Dan. All right, chapter 18. I fought my way back to consciousness, and after opening my eyes, I wished I hadn't. My head was pounding like a blacksmith's hammer. My arms and legs were bound, and I was gagged. Lying on the ground, trussed up like a holiday goose, I quickly looked around, trying to get my bearings. "Looks like the demon lover's finally awake, boys," came a voice out of the gloom to my left. Langhorn and his two friends stepped out of the shadows and into the light of the stables. "We're going to show you what we think of those that deal with spirits, who have the gall to enter our church." One of Langhorn's friends handed him a club. "Too bad for you, there ain't no way you can stop us. We made sure you couldn't talk or use your hands to cast any spells. Maybe one of your imps will come to your aid, but I doubt it." Slapping the club against his open hand, he added, "If you ever wanted to repent, now's the time." Langhorn raised the club in his right hand and took his aim at my head. "You're about to feel the wrath of the righteous." Putting his weight into it, he started to bring the club down. Seemingly from out of nowhere, a hand caught Langhorn's arm in mid-swing, bringing it to a sudden and complete halt. "I thought you knew better, Langhorn. I'm disappointed." Turning, Langhorn screamed, Let go, Father, or you'll be next." "I think not." The priest refused to release his grip. He balled up his fingers of his free hand into a fist and landed a powerful blow to Langhorn's jaw. Looking at the priest in complete surprise, Langhorn dropped the club and fell to his knees. "You have no idea how much this hurts me," chortled the priest, landing another blow. Langhorn's eyes rolled back into his head and he went limp. Father Alder let go of his arm and he slumped to the earth. Langhorn's two associates took a step back. "I'll be seeing the two of you in church tomorrow morning for your confessions and penance," spat the priest. "Now get out." The two men nearly tripped over themselves, trying to be the first out of the stable door. Father Alder walked over to me and untied the gag around my mouth. Then, reaching into the folds of his robes, he produced a small knife and cut the bonds from my hands. Sitting up and rubbing my wrists, I looked up at the priest and grumbled, "Remind me never to get on your bad side, Father. Maybe I'll see you in church on the Sabbath." "How about if I just give you my thanks?" I said, standing. "Here, I found this in the street," he said, picking up my staff from where he had put it and handing it to me. "After seeing our friends at the inn, I put two and two together. I figured it was my duty to come looking for you, even though you are a heathen." "Well, I'm glad you did. How did you know to look in here?" "Divine guidance," he said, and then laughed. "Also, they dragged you across the street. It was easy to follow the trail." Langhorn started to stir and gradually sat up. Getting to his knees, he asked, "Father, why would you help someone like him?" "I always help those who cannot defend themselves." "You're helping one who blasphemes against the church," Langhorn said. "If I were to say who the blasphemer is, I would say it is you. Not only were you going to hit a bound and helpless man, you threatened me." I knelt down next to Langhorn. "You seem to have a violent opinion about wizards. Perhaps you'd like to tell me what you know about the murder of Rhaenyra?" "What I know is the world is better off now that it is short one wizard," Langhorn said. "That wizard was a friend of mine," I said. "Where were you when he was killed?" "Go to blazes!" Langhorn yelled. I pulled my wand out of my sleeve. "We can do this the easy way, or we can do it the way that I prefer," I said, as the tip of the wand began to glow with the light of a burning ember. I felt the strong hand of the priest on my shoulder. "I wouldn't let him harm you. I won't permit you to harm him," he said in a low tone. I felt my face flush with rage. Thinking better of fighting the priest, I lowered the wand and glared at Langhorn. I slid the wand back up into my sleeve and said, "You're luckier than you know. Still, I think you and I will have a little private talk tomorrow." With that, I pulled back and hit him in the jaw. I felt the priest put his hand on my shoulder again and squeeze. "I told you about hurting him." "Yes, you did, but I owed him that." The priest shrugged his shoulders and took a step back. Lying on the stable floor, Langhorn found a large nail in the dirt, probably from a discarded horseshoe. He put it between two of his fingers and balled up his fist. The nail stuck out like a dirk. He scrambled to his feet and looked at me in the eye. Father Alder put himself between us. "Drop it," he said. After thinking about it, Langhorn unclenched his fist, and the nail tumbled to the floor. "If you ever do anything like this again, or if I find out you had anything to do with the murder of Rhaenyra, I will have you excommunicated. Do you understand me?" the priest growled. Langhorn, never taking his gaze off of me, nodded. Now I suggest you leave. I'm not sure I will be inclined to stop Boaz again." Langhorne looked at the priest, then back at me. Without a word, he went to the door. "Thanks," I said, turning to the priest. "Not a problem. I should have realized that something like this would happen earlier. Langhorne can be a real firebrand sometimes." "Angry enough to kill Ray?" "It's possible, but I doubt it. What happened to Ray would have taken a little forethought. That's not Langhorne's strong suit. Also, Ray only had the one stab wound. If Langhorne did it, the body would have been bruised, too. I don't see him content with one wound." "Yeah, you're probably right. Still, I think I should have a talk with him. Where can I find him?" Tell you what. Why don't you stop by the church in the afternoon, and I will take you to him?" "Why?" "I just want to make sure that neither of you gets hurt too badly." With a slight laugh, I said, "Sure, can do. I'll try to be there." I put one hand to my head. Ouch, I think I'm just going to rest tomorrow. Somehow, I get a feeling I'm going to have a big headache. Yes, probably so. Right now, you should go get some sleep. Maybe you should have Vivian take a look at the goose egg on your head. My fingertips went back to the growing lump Langhorne gave me on the street, and I winced when I touched it. "I think that's good advice, Father. I'll see you in a couple of days. I'll be expecting you. In the meantime, I think I'll walk with you to your horse. Langhorne might not be the sharpest sword in the armory, but he is persistent." And that's the end of chapter 18. What do you think? Was it fun? It's right at 11 and a half minutes, so we're going to call it. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bedbugs bite. And if they do, make sure you bite them back. Comment below in the comments to let me know and let Dan know what you thought of those two chapters. That was pretty fun, wasn't it? All right. Good night.